Hey house guests, welcome to today's Celebrity Big Brother 2 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day. We've got Mary Hurley, Mary Patricia Dorsey, Melissa A, and Michael Ransom. M Squad, what up? Thank you guys so much for the support. We really appreciate it and could not do this without you. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so we are in the home stretch here. When we left off yesterday, it was a real nap time at the Oasis. They're just waiting around for nominations. It's pretty obvious that Candy and Dina are going up, right? But the house guests are also starting to chat about who they want to go to the end with, because now they know how this final bit of the game is going to play out. Which is like, I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is. So basically, after this eviction, the final four will compete in one final HOH competition, and the winner of that automatically goes to the final two, which is fair, but then they also get to pick who is going to join them, and in effect they're evicting the last two people, so that's a lot. But anyway, they want to make sure that they look like a nice choice to go to the final two if they don't win the HOH themselves, so they're trying to be like, take me to the end. So Lolo and Ricky were chatting in the hotel bedroom, and Ricky is like, I'm still trying to figure out how to approach this last stretch of the game. You know, do I care about this veto? Do I fight for this veto? Or do I kind of sit back and give Candy and Dina a fair chance to win it? Ricky just assuming he's going to be good at it. But Lolo says, well, everybody's had a fair chance. Yeah, everything's led up to this. It's not like this one veto is like their only shot. You know what I mean? She's saying like, everything that's happened so far has led up to this point. Is that how you felt last week when you got put on the block and didn't get to play in the veto? Okay. So Ricky is then asking Lolo, who do you feel you have the best chance of beating in the end? And Lolo isn't sure. But she does know she doesn't really want to be up against Candy or Dina because they have no blood on their hands. Side note, do you guys think it's going to be a bitter jury, or do you think they would vote for somebody who's been like a lot? Do you think? I don't know. Can you imagine if Dina was in the final two and like she won? That would be a little bit ridiculous, right? So Lolo doesn't want to go up against them, and Ricky's like, well, I've been thinking about potentially making a deal with you and Tamar. He says that he just wants to make it to the final two, which whenever anybody says that, that's BS. Like, you want to win. Come on, give me a break. So he's like, yeah, I just want to make it to the final two. So if you guys agree, if you win, that you'll take me to the end, I won't even try in the final HOH competition. I'll just sit back and let one of you guys win and take me. So he wants to be lazy. And he's like, yeah, you guys can fight it out, and it'll look really good on your resume going into the final two with a win like Marissa did last season. So seems like a good deal for you, right? So Ricky says, but if you guys say no, I'll just compete, and if I win, then I'll just decide, you know, who I'm going to take. How are they not calling out Ricky for threatening them? Ridiculous. So anyway, Lolo is not sure that she wants to make that deal. Probably a good call on her part. She's nervous that she won't beat Tamar in a non-physical competition, and then if Tamar wins and she's in on this deal, bye Lolo, she's not going to the final two. But keep in mind also, either Candy or Dina will also be competing in this competition. It's not like it would just be down to Lolo and Tamar. So it's really kind of like murky waters here. She's not really sure she's into this. She's going to pray about it, and she's going to see what God says. So then Lolo brings it back to this eviction. She wants to know, do you want Dina or Candy to go? So she thinks that Candy is sharper than Dina. She's more likely to win. She's more likely to win that final HOH competition. And Lolo is also nervous that if Candy were to be the final HOH, she would take Tamar to the final two, because they do have that special like 20-year-long relationship. So Ricky's like, no, I don't think Candy would take Tamar to the end, because he says Candy is jealous of Tamar. She would be crushed if she took Tamar to the end and then lost to her. So she's not even going to let that be a possibility. So he says that Candy feels like she could beat Lolo, and that's why she kept her over Natalie last time. Okay, so then Lolo is called to the DR, and Tamar comes in to talk to Ricky. So Ricky is asking Tamar the same question about the veto, like, should I even fight for this? Is it important? And Tamar's like, it's very important, because Candy and Dina are going to be busting their asses to win this thing. And Tamar doesn't want to, you know, have any chance of her going up on the block. So then Ricky's asking her, well, what would you do if you won the veto? And Tamar's like, well, I'll keep the nominations the same. That's what you want, right? Like, this is your HOH. I'll do what you want. Yeah, you definitely want to say things like that when you're talking to the HOH, right? So Tamar says that she would take Ricky to the end, not Candy. And that is exactly what Ricky wants to hear right now. So then he says, well, if that's how it is, then if Candy or Dina win this power veto, I'm going to put up Lolo in their place, because she's been really wishy-washy. You are telling me you want to go to the end with me, and I value that, so I will put up Lolo if the time comes. You know, Lolo's not as clear or confident about the end. He doesn't like that. So they agree that they're going to take each other to the final two. Tamar says a zillion %. So does that mean, like, you're not? Because that's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. But they talk about this eviction, and Tamar's like, you know, I hate to even say this, but should we be getting rid of Lolo now? And Ricky agrees. He's like, yeah, like, I didn't really want to say it either, but he's not going to put her up on the block initially. But he says if the power veto is used, she's got to go. Tamar says, yeah, if that happens, that's God speaking. We need to listen to that. So, damn, Tamar is covertly putting in work for Candy to stay. Do you guys think that Tamar would go to the end with Ricky or Candy if it was up to her? Leave in the comments. I feel like she wants to go with Candy, but I'm not totally sure on that. So anyway, Tamar's saying, yeah, and think about this. If Lolo is gone, that's going to give us an even better chance to win that final HOH, because they'd be up against Candy and Dina. Okay, so it looks like Lolo is low-key the new target. Alright, so then they have the nomination ceremony, and as expected, Ricky nominates Candy and Dina. The question, though, is, would they make that move and use the power veto if one of them were to win? You know, they're saying if Candy or Dina won the veto, then Lolo would go up, but what if one of them won? Would they make that move? I don't know. So Candy, she knew she was going up. She was like, whatever, it is what it is. She knows she's got to win that veto. Dina was taking the nomination kind of hard, but she was upset before that. I don't know if something was carried over from the memory lane breakfast / brunch, because she was definitely upset then too. They were all talking about it, and Ricky and Tamar think that she's just upset because she's been carried this whole time, and now there's no one left to carry her. I mean, they're not wrong. Dina hasn't really done much. They're like, what does she expect? This is just like her walking around the house and that's it? Like, no, this is a freaking game. So then later, Lolo and Tamar were discussing their chats with Ricky. So Ricky didn't present that, like, deal to Tamar, so Lolo was telling her about it, and she's not into this deal that he's offering. She says it's not sitting well with her. It basically guarantees that Ricky would make it to the final two. Not quite, because there is still that fourth person that would be playing. But Lolo was like, yeah, he's saying that he just wants to make it to the final two, but she heard a little sample of his speech, what he would say at the finale, and she says it was really good. So she doesn't really want to go up against him. And Tamar's like, yeah, I think it should be left up to the individual who wins HOH. And Lolo says she wants to tell Ricky that she doesn't want to take that deal. Ooh. So Tamar was then basically telling Lolo that they're going to have to go to the end together, just two of them, because against anybody else, she's like, oh, we're going to lose. So Tamar is really playing hard right now, trying to make sure that she's going to make it to the final two. And it seems like it's kind of working on Lolo, because Lolo is scared of going to the end with Candy and Dina, and now Ricky as well. So it seems like she wants to go with Tamar. She thinks that that would be her best chance to win. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But today, nothing going on so far. And I don't know when the veto competition is. I'm thinking it's tomorrow and not today, because I feel like if it was today, they would have gotten up pretty early and picked players. So I think it's going to be tomorrow, but we'll see. So let me know who you guys are rooting for in that POV. And until next time, much love.